The Boston Celtics enter the All-Star break on a high note, and they made that message clear the opening minutes at TD Garden. After one of their worst performances of the season against the New York Knicks on Super Bowl Sunday, the response was immediate, direct, and necessary. Boston defeated the Chicago Bulls 124-105, and this game was decided long before the final buzzer. Before we go deeper, if you care about serious Boston Celtics coverage, mark the like button right now, subscribe to the channel, and click the hype button to show you are locked in with this team as we approach the most important stretch of the season. This was about reaction and accountability. The Celtics came out with pace, physicality, and focus. By halftime, the scoreboard read 72-44. That is not just a lead, that's a statement. After being embarrassed days earlier, Boston chose urgency over excuses. That matters in February, especially for a team with championship expectations. Jaylen Brown, an all-star starter, set the tone with 24 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. He attacked early, played under control, and dictated tempo. Peyton Pritchard delivered one of his strongest performances of the season with 26 points and 8 assists off the bench. His confidence continues to grow, and that secondary scoring could become a decisive factor in the postseason. There were emotional layers to this matchup. Nikola Vucevic faced his former team for the first time since being traded last week and responded with 19 points and 11 rebounds in 26 minutes. On the other side, Anfernee Simons returned to TD Garden and received applause, but struggled, scoring 7 points on 3 of 9 shooting. Boston controlled both the narrative and the rhythm. With the game in hand, Joe Mazzulla managed minutes wisely. Jordan Walsh added 16 points in extended action. Ron Harper Jr. saw meaningful floor time. Depth, energy, and buy-in were visible across the rotation. Now comes the part that should command your full attention. The Celtics have won 6 of their last 7 games. They enter the break at 35 wins and 19 losses, holding the 2nd seed in the Eastern Conference behind the Detroit Pistons. After a full week of rest, they begin a 4-game road trip next Thursday against the Golden State Warriors. Momentum is real in this league. Health is critical. Seeding is not a detail, it is a path. Boston corrected course at the right moment. The question now becomes unavoidable. Are the Celtics peaking at the perfect time, or is this just the beginning of a much bigger surge that could redefine the Eastern Conference race? Nikola Vucevic made headlines after the Celtics closed out a 124-105 win over the Chicago Bulls at TD Garden. The score mattered, the timing mattered, but what truly demands attention is the statement Vucevic delivered after the final buzzer, and it may define the next chapter of his career in Boston. The Celtics handled business with authority. They built control early, stretched the lead by halftime, and secured their 6th win in the last 7 games. Chicago, short-handed and struggling, never threatened. On the surface, this was a routine victory before the All-Star break, but inside that result was something bigger. This game marked Vucevic's first matchup against the Bulls since the trade that sent him to Boston at the deadline. 13 seasons in the league, only 16 playoff games, years in Orlando, years in Chicago. Individual production was never the issue, opportunity was, and when asked what excites him most about joining the Celtics, Vucevic did not hesitate. Having a chance to win big, it is something I have been missing in my career. That is not a casual comment. That is a veteran acknowledging that time is limited, and the window is now. It is an admission that personal numbers no longer satisfy. It is about competing for a title. Billy Donovan confirmed that sense of urgency, saying Vucevic understood that Boston offers an experience he has never truly had: legitimate championship contention. This is where it becomes serious. Boston is not developing. Boston is chasing banners. Joe Mazzulla emphasized that Vucevic cares about detail, about getting it right, about winning. That mentality is not optional in this locker room. It is required. The Celtics believe they added more than a skilled center. They believe they added hunger. And hunger changes rotation, changes intensity, changes expectation. If Vucevic truly sees this as his missing piece, then the pressure rises immediately. So here is the question that cannot be ignored. With a veteran publicly stating that this is his long-awaited chance to win big, are the Celtics now carrying not only their own championship expectation, but the urgency of a 13-year career that refuses to waste this opportunity? Anthony Simons may no longer wear a Celtics uniform, but his recent comments have reopened a door many believed was closed. Boston traded Simons to the Chicago Bulls in exchange for Nikola Vucevic, a move designed to strengthen the center position and prepare for a deeper playoff push. On paper, it was a strategic decision, but now a new question is gaining traction. Could Simons return to the Boston Celtics? Simons had been playing some of his best basketball before the trade. Even in a reduced bench role, he gave Boston stability, secondary ball handling, and scoring punch. When he was on the floor, the Celtics operated with one of the most efficient offenses in the NBA. That matters. Teams chasing champions do not move productive players lightly. Before a recent game, Simons was asked whether he had started to envision a future in Boston. His response was direct. He said that winning makes you comfortable, that competing for a full season with a strong team allows you to see the light at the end of the tunnel. He acknowledged the business side of the league, but did not close the chapter. Then came the key line. He said that down the line, he could see it for sure. He spoke about enjoying his time in Boston, building strong relationships, and leaving the possibility open. That is not accidental language. That is intentional. Here is where it becomes urgent. Simons will be a free agent when the season ends. Boston is currently under the luxury tax and will have flexibility in the offseason. If the market cools and winning becomes the priority, a return is financially possible, even if it requires a slight discount. Add to that the uncertainty surrounding Jason Tatum's recovery from a torn Achilles tendon, and offensive depth suddenly becomes critical. So now the real question: did the Celtics sacrifice a long-term piece for a short-term adjustment, only to potentially bring him back months later? Or is this the beginning of a calculated reunion that could strengthen Boston at the exact right moment? If you believe this story is far from over, mark the like button, subscribe to the channel, and click the hype button right now. Because this situation is developing, and the possibility of Anthony Simons returning to the Boston Celtics is very real.